here my handy dandy trusty kombucha for refreshment during our little tour through White Boy by Tom MacDonald. This has been a suggestion by many of you, and apparently this is next in line, so let's get started, shall we?
I cannot feel guilty for that I didn't do, but I can understand the reasons why you think that I should. Yeah, I'm white, but I never put your neck in no noose, and I never burnt a cross or hid my face with a hood.
Yes, right off the bat, once again, spitting facts. I don't know anybody who wore a hood. I don't know anybody who owned slaves. In fact, I'm from Canada, so I might even be more removed from that. But it seems like we as Caucasians are automatically labeled as racist now, solely based on the color of our skin. Seems reminiscent of something else, doesn't it?
I'm white, but I never put your neck in no noose, and I never burnt a cross or hid my face with a hood. You can't just label me racist, cause I'm related to people who did some terrible way back before I was alive. My parents...
Once again, yes, how many of us are probably related to people somewhere down the line who did horrible things to other people? But how are we ever going to know one way or the other? And why are we made to feel that we need to apologize for those people who we never knew? That's like if my dad robbed a bank and I'm going to apologize for his behavior. It doesn't help anybody. It's virtue signaling at its finest.
Some terrible way back before I was alive. My parents brought me up to treat everyone as an equal. I refuse to feel ashamed because of my pretty blue eyes. And not
my pretty blue eyes. I love having blue eyes. And I'm sure if I had brown eyes, I would love having brown eyes. And I'm sure if I was Hispanic, I would love having darker skin. And I'm sure if I was black, I would love having more melanin than I do. But we are born the way we are through no choice of our own. So let's love one another. Let's love ourselves. Let's do better. Let's be better people. That's what we need.
White supremacist. Anyone who labels me as that because of my family genetics. The hatred for Caucasians is so pathetic. Go be proud that you're black.
Hatred for Caucasians. You know, I've never in my lifetime felt uneasy in my own skin. But I always kind of feel like I'm being judged by other people because I'm white. And I'm always wondering, like, do they think I'm racist because I'm white? It's the oddest thing. I've never ever had that feeling in my life. In fact, I grew up in a very small town where I would say it was probably maybe 50% white. I mean, we definitely, I wouldn't say we're the minority, and race was never on my radar. I had friends of every ethnicity. And it wasn't I had a black friend situation. It was just, I was just friends with the people who I got along with, and the color of their skin, their religion, none of that played a role in any of it. But now it seems to be, that's what is focused on now. And it's like we're going backwards in time. And everybody's being segregated again. It's like we're living in an episode of The Twilight Zone.
The hatred for Caucasians is so pathetic. Go be proud that you're black, but don't hate me for some credit. I'm not the white devil, neo-Nazi, cop trying to pull the trigger. You can call me what you want, but I'd still never say the white race as a whole ain't the enemy. There's racist white people, but we're far from that collectively. What?
Yes. That is something that's bothered me for a long time, is that you know, we're called a racist nation. It's probably the same thing going on in Canada. And there's always going to be racist people. But are you trying to tell me that we're actually worse off now than we were during the Jim Crow era? I mean, are there separate bathrooms? Are there separate water fountains? Well, there's separate colleges now, and there's separate dorms. So we're not integrating. It's like we came together and now we're breaking apart again, all in the name of unity. I'm not quite sure that makes sense. I'm not quite sure that that's the right option for our nation.
Race as a whole ain't the enemy. There's racist white people, but we're far from that collectively.
White boy, don't say that. White boy, oh you so bad. White boy, you wish you were black. White boy, dear white boy.
White boy, white noise. I can't say it with my white voice. White boys, white lies. Don't tell me how to see it through my white eyes. If a black man is sipping on some cognac.
Can you guys see? I'm really hairy. Can you see how many goosebumps I have? Whoo, Tom. I want to hear that again. I couldn't see everything. I couldn't hear everything he was saying.
You wish you were black. White boy, dear white boy.
White boy, white noise. I can't say it with my white voice. White boys, white lies. Don't tell me how to see it through my white eyes. If a black man is sipping on some cognac sitting next to me, I don't assume that every black's favorite drink is Hennessy. I don't dislike Tanisha because...
Wait, what did he say?
White eyes. If a black man is sipping on some cognac sitting next to me, I don't assume that every black's favorite drink is Hennessy. I don't dislike Tanisha because her first name isn't Stephanie. Not only is that wrong, it's a waste of energy.
Yes. Now, there are generalizations, which I think is true of every race. But yes, that's true. Actually, I saw a really funny episode of Last Man Standing, where they meet their black neighbors for the first time, and the wife is really nervous about meeting them because she thinks that they think that they're racist because they're white. So they have the neighbors come over, and the neighbor wife brings a brown paper bag and gives it to the white wife, and she says, "Oh, I'll just go put this in the fridge for you." And the black wife says, "I don't know why you would. It's a candle." And so that's what they're doing. They're playing off the fact that they were assuming they were bringing like a 40 in a paper bag. So, I mean, it was a funny part of the show, but that's the generalization, right? And they did it in such a way that it was not racist. It was hilarious. But it's almost like that stuff is not even allowed to be said anymore.
Because her first name isn't Stephanie. Not only is that wrong, it's a waste of energy. Ivory or ebony, 45 or 17, we all bleed the same. Martin Luther King or Kennedy. They're angry, I'm reciting the...
Whoa. You know what I've never thought of? Martin Luther King and Kennedy were both assassinated, but Kennedy's was not seen as a hate crime. It just popped into my head.
Wrong, it's a waste of energy. Ivory or ebony, 45 or 17, we all bleed the same. Martin Luther King or Kennedy. They're angry, I'm reciting the facts. He's white and he raps. He stole the culture right from the blacks. Okay, he's fire, but...
Yeah, that's something you hear a lot, and I think that really probably started with Eminem. The fact that, white people can't rap because it's it's cultural appropriation. And it's black music. I don't know why you can't appreciate another culture without being labeled racist or saying that you're appropriating their culture. That doesn't sit well with me either. I've never understood that.
Luther King or Kennedy. They're angry, I'm reciting the facts. He's white and he raps. He stole the culture right from the blacks. Okay, he's fire, but we lit the flame. He's siphoning gas. So this corny little honky man, the whitey is whack. You letting history perpetuate the hatred within, and then you paint me with the brush you painted slave owners with. Yeah.
White boy, don't say that. White boy, oh you so bad. White boy, you wish you were black. White boy, dear white boy.
White boy, white noise. I can't say with my white voice. White boys, white lies. Don't tell me how to see it through my white eyes. I got a mother, a father, a sister, an auntie, an uncle, and a grandma that I picture when you're openly hating. And God willing, one day I'll have a kid of my own. I refuse to let you blindly hate my wife and my baby, so go ahead and hate the races. I pray for their extinction. If you wanna hate the white people, just make the distinction between the ones who want the best for everyone regardless, and the ones who build the system just to smother you with hardship. Stop.
Yes, make the distinction. There are racist people, and it's not an entire race of people that are racist. There's a select few, and it's not permanently ingrained in our society. I will never believe that.
Just make the distinction between the ones who want the best for everyone regardless, and the ones who build the system just to smother you with hardship. Stop before you say it. I know what you've been thinking. How's a straight white male in 2018? You're making me the villain by demon.
Wait, they bleeped out a bad word, I think, there. What is he saying?
With hardship. Stop before you say it. I know what you've been thinking. How's a straight white male in 2018? You're making me the villain by demonizing my race for things I didn't do and decisions I didn't make.
Yeah, so not every white person had a plantation and owned a slave. But we're all being painted with the same brush, that we are evil simply because of the lack of melanin in our skin.
No one that I call a friend has ever owned a slave, and neither did our dads or our dads' dads. Sakes acknowledging atrocities were wrongly committed is all that I can offer while I'm wrongly convicted. I would never hate a man for what God gave him in pigments, and I would never plot against him just because he is different. I would never judge a human for the cards he was given, or call him lesser than myself because of the race that he's mixed with. White people.
Yes, exactly, Tom. I could never rhyme it, but those are the exact thoughts that I have. How could I possibly hate somebody simply because they were born a color that I am not? I don't, and I never will.
That you hate aren't your neighbors or lawyers. They're the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bushes, and Royals. They're the people who monopolized the water and oil and injected your communities with drugs that they spoiled. Got no patience for Nazis, I think they're better off dead. They're fighting hatred with hatred, making the hate more intense. I don't want nothing to do with either side of the fence, so don't blindly attack me for wearing braids on my head. Hate the people who believe you put yourselves in the ghetto. Hate the ones who teach their children you ain't cause they said so. Hate the ones who think you're all the same and judge you profusely cause the way that you're portrayed on our news and in movies. Being white.
Yeah, see, we are racist because we are white, so that means every white person. But you can't say anything like that about another race. All Mexicans are, all black people are, all Asian people are. So why is it okay now in this backwards world that we're living in to automatically assume and tell people, even on the news by well-known media and broadcasters, journalists, that what did Don Lemon say? The most dangerous person is the white man, and he's married to a white man. So I wonder how his husband feels about that.
White and being racist aren't the same, man, I promise. No, it's hard to tell the difference if I'm just being honest. I deserve the chance to show you I'm not part of the problem, and you owe it to yourselves. We got so much in common.
White boy, don't say that. White boy, oh oh you so bad. White boy, you wish you were black. White boy, dear white boy.
White boy, white noise. I can't say with my white voice. White boys, white lies. Don't tell me how to see it through my white eyes.
White boy, don't say that. White boy, oh you so bad. White boy, you wish you were black. White boy, dear white boy.
Wow. So he's sitting in that classroom having stuff thrown at him because he's stating truths. And that's what we're not allowed to do anymore. It's too politically incorrect to talk about the truth anymore. We need to sugarcoat everything, put padding around everything, make everything safe and cozy, even if it is hiding all of the truth. Hats off, Tom and Nova. Man, I got serious goosebumps on that one. And I didn't drink any kombucha. So thank you once again, everybody. You're wonderful. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.